away from the frozen war room, Naruto exhaled slowly. The air that left his lungs was warm, steady, alive. Sunlight poured through the wide windows on the first floor, stretching across polished wood and newly laid tatami mats. The space, once empty and forgotten, now carried purpose, structure, a quiet kind of strength that stood in direct contrast to the chaos unraveling elsewhere in the capital. Naruto stood barefoot within his shinobi sandals, the open-toe design grounding him against a firm surface beneath. His posture was relaxed but precise, every movement controlled, every breath measured. Across from him, Sayo gripped the knife poorly. "Your wrist is too stiff," Naruto said calmly. Sayo frowned, adjusting her grip slightly. "Like this?" He shook his head, stepping closer. "Not force, control." He reached out, his hand gently guiding hers, not lingering, not soft, but firm, in correction. He adjusted the angle of her wrist, lowering her elbow slightly, and shifted her stance by nudging her foot with the sandal. "You're trying to overpower the blade," he explained. "Knives aren't meant for that. They're meant to slip through openings, quick, precise." Sayo swallowed, nodding as she tried again. This time her movement was cleaner, still rough, but better. Naruto stepped back, crossing his arms as he observed. Again, she moved. A step forward / pivot too wide. Naruto's hand shot out, stopping her mid-motion. "You're overcommitting," he said. "If you miss like that, you're dead." There was no harshness in his tone, just truth. Sayo's grip tightened. "Right." She reset her stance, taking a slow breath before trying again. This time, step, cut, pull back. Cleaner. Naruto gave a small nod. Better. Upstairs, faint footsteps echoed. Shell moving around, likely organizing or exploring. The sound was soft, almost comforting, a reminder that this place, this building, was becoming something real. Naruto glanced around the training room. The hanging bags, the wooden dummies, the sunlight cutting across the room. It wasn't much yet, but it was his. No missions, no orders, no betrayal, just structure, just purpose, just peace. Sayo exhaled, lowering the knife slightly. "I'm still not as good as you." Naruto shrugged lightly. "You don't need to be." She looked at him, confused. He met her gaze, calmly and steady. "You just need to be good enough to survive." The words settled between them, not heavy, not painful, just real. Sayo nodded slowly, lifting the knife again. "Then teach me until I am." Naruto didn't smile, but there was something quieter in his expression, something steadier. He stepped forward once more, adjusting her stance again, as the light continued to pour into the room. Warm, steady, untouched by the storm beginning to freeze the rest of the empire. Naruto stepped back, watching Sayo adjust her stance again, knife raised, shoulders tighter than before, but improving. "Loosen your grip," he said. Though his voice lacked its earlier steadiness, Sayo blinked. "Like this?" Naruto didn't answer right away. His eyes had already drifted past her, past the training dummies, toward the large windows lining the wall. The sunlight was still there, warm, calm, but something felt wrong. His fingers twitched slightly at his sides. Then again, he shifted his weight in his shinobi sandals. The faint scrape against the floor, louder than it should have been. His gaze flicked over his shoulder once, twice. "Naruto?" Sayo asked, lowering her knife slightly. He exhaled slowly, but it wasn't steady this time. Keep going," he muttered. She hesitated, then moved again. Step, cut, pull back. But Naruto wasn't watching anymore. His attention kept slipping. Every few seconds, his head turned just slightly. His body was reacting before his mind could catch up. Something was off. Not danger, not immediate, but a distant pressure, then shouting. Naruto's head snapped towards the window. Outside, the street had shifted from calm to chaos in seconds. Soldiers, dozens of them, boots slamming against the stone, voices barking orders, weapons drawn as they flooded the roads in organized waves. Lock it down! No one leaves! Seal the district! Metal gates slammed shut at the ends of the street. Civilians were pushed back, confusion turning into panic as armored forces spread through the capital like a tightening neck. Sayo stepped beside him, eyes wide. What's going on? Naruto didn't answer. His gaze hardened slightly, jaw tightening as he watched the movement, the precision, the scale. This wasn't random. This was controlled, deliberate, a lockdown, and for some reason, his chest felt cold. Miles away, the capital froze. Not metaphorically, not slowly, instantly. Esdeath walked through the streets like winter given form. Her presence alone, enough to make the air fracture with cold. At her side, Run followed in tense silence. His usual composure strained as his eyes flicked toward the spreading frost beneath her steps. People moved out of her way. They scrambled out of her way. Because the soldiers weren't the real threat. She was. Her heels clicked against a stone, sharp, echoing until thud. A frail body collided into her shoulder. An old man, bent with age and too slow to react, stumbled back slightly, his hands raised in panic. Sorry, General. He didn't get to finish. Esdeath's hand turned slowly, not curious, not annoyed, empty. Her arm lifted effortlessly, unthinking, and with a flick of her hand, the world stopped. Ice exploded outward in a violent surge, swallowing the old man mid-motion. His apology froze on his lips. His body encased instantly, perfectly preserved in a shell of solid blue. But it didn't stop there. The street screamed, buildings frozen, carts locked in place, people caught mid-step, mid-breath, encased in jagged ice as the cold surged outward like a tidal wave. In seconds, an entire city block had become a graveyard of winter. A towering wall of ice erupted at the end of the street, sealing it off completely. Thick, impenetrable, glistening under the dim light like a monument to something far more terrifying than power. Run's breath caught. General. Esdeath didn't look back, didn't acknowledge what she had just done, didn't even slow down. Her eyes stared forward, focused, distant, searching. I'll find you, she murmured softly. Her voice carried no warmth, no hesitation, only certainty. Behind her, the frozen street stood as silent proof of one undeniable truth. The storm wasn't coming. It was already here.